morning. So today I am doing a quick and easy corned beef hash, which I am pretty sure many of you will have heard of. Not everyone has cooked, and I wanted to just bring us back to that classic, mainly because people get given corned beef in food bags and don't know what to do with it other than put it in a sandwich, and also because it's just really cheap. It's a great meal to do. So what I've got is a whole load of onions, which I'm going to get sizzling on here. You're just going to give them a squizzle, I think it's a technical term, of the sliced bits with your hand to separate them. Get them in your pan, get them frying. The only thing I've done in advance here, other than chop my onions, is get some rice on, because I want to show you what I do with rice that makes quite a bit of difference. So here's my onion, all on. You'll notice I've also opened my tins of corned beef, only because I just find them impossible to do with that little key, but it's just literally a bog standard tin of corned beef. And there you go, there's my onions on here. I want to get them going again till they're golden brown. You really want to cook those onions, because that's where a lot of the flavour comes from. And because onions are really cheap, I've added in three pretty large ones. So as you can see, my pan is full. It will simmer down, but my pan is full of onions. So we'll get those mixing in nicely there. Now corned beef itself is quite a salty meat, so you might want to add salt later, but I wouldn't suggest, that you add any salt now. I'd suggest that you just wait till you've cooked it, and then we can see what it needs afterwards. So I'm not going to add any salt. I do always like to cook with olive oil. I just use a little square. I managed to get one of those things that you slot in the top, which stops it all coming out in massive glugs, so you can pour in a more controlled manner. In my opinion, they're well worth getting. So here we go, got my onions going on there nicely. I've got my kettle boiled ready. And what I do is this, you might be really surprised. But with my rice, it's been cooking. Rice takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes max. I've been cooking mine for about half that time. And the reason my camera is faced round this way is because I'm going to take it over to the sink, and I'm going to drain my rice, and then I'm going to refill it and start again. So if I grab my sieve here, in fact, do you know what I'm going to use? I'll use a colander because it's bigger, and I'm in front of everyone. It kind of makes it easier and less risky. Tip my rice into there, like that. And the tip where we got this from was from a restaurant where we'd asked them, how do you get your rice so nice and fluffy? Lovely restaurant. And they said, oh, well, we cook rice, rinse it, cook it like normal, and then you take it out, rinse it again, and then put it back on the hob. So we started doing that, and you know what? It works a treat. So literally some warm water running through here, rinse your rice again before you get it back on the heat, ready to cook. So there you go, there's my rice being rinsed through. Literally just a quick rinse, nice and easy. There you go. Shake it out. Tip it back in. This is where it goes everywhere on live TV, isn't it? There you go, that wasn't so bad. Rice back in. And then to get it really lovely and fluffy, you want to get the water back on it again. So I have just boiled myself a kettle just before I started. So here we are. Get some more boiling water back on there. Whack the lid on it and let that soak up. And you'll find you have lovely fluffy rice on there. Now today, I've kept my rice quite plain, mainly because I've wanted to, you've got so much flavour with the onions and the corned beef, that I've wanted to keep that bit a little bit plain, because it's a lovely contrast when you have that. So here's my onions, they're coming along nicely. So what it means is you've got your corned beef and your onion mix quite strong. Your rice is nice and plain, but it kind of balances well together. And as I said, if you need to, add some salt at the end. I have put salt in my rice water. I did that the first time round. But normally, if I'm cooking rice, at this point I'd whack in some chicken stock cubes, I'd maybe whack in some frozen vegetables. So not only do they cook in the water, but also the rice water gets filled with a lovely vegetable taste, and then the rice itself tastes amazing. Look at that. Lovely, starting to look golden brown onions. So that's nearly ready. So at this point, what you want to start doing, just while those onions are just finishing off there, so I'm going to open my tin sweet corn. Like I said, this is a food bag meal. What do you get given in a food bag? You get rice, you get sweet corn, and you get corned beef. And no one ever knows what to do with them. And this is the easiest thing you could do. You could do it with pasta. You could do it with mashed potato. If you've got leftover mashed potato, you can whack some corned beef, some sweet corn, some onions, and do exactly the same process, but just with those instead of rice. I just chose rice today because we had pasta yesterday. So there you go. There's my logic. Now these, I don't need draining. Oh yeah, maybe they do a little bit. There you go. Bit of water out of that one. And then, again, nice and cheap, and they're from your food bag, let's say. You can whack in 2 tins, depending on how many you're cooking for. I'm cooking for 8. So if you've got 4, obviously halve what you do. So I've got 2 corned beef tins, 2 sweet corn tins, 3 large onions. It's such a yummy meal. Really, really simple to make. I mean, I can make it. But anyone can make this. This doesn't particularly take any skill, and it doesn't particularly take any extra spices. So the whole point of why I wanted to do these videos was for anyone who's been given a food bag, who maybe can't afford to go out and buy all the spices that your famous chefs ask you to get to make their meals. I wanted to create some meals that were easy to do with the resources we've got. So the only thing you might need to buy if you don't have it in your cupboards is a soy sauce. This one's from Aldi, and it cost me 45p. So there you go. As far as I'm concerned, this meal has come from the food bank. I got onions from the wall outside, free. Rice from the food bank, free. Tinned sweet corn from the food bank, free. Tinned corned beef from the food bag, free. And the only thing you've had to spend so far is 45 pence for some soy sauce. Isn't that great? So there you go. My onions are now gorgeously golden brown on here. So I'm going to whack in my sweet corn. Make sure I get all the little bits out. Don't want any to feel left out. So that's 1 tin. That's 2 tins. Now you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that's loads. But actually, you know, these are the cheap bits, for starters. And also, I have a big family. There's 8 of us around the table every meal because my parents live with me. So 6 in my immediate family plus 2 parents. That's 4 adults and 4 kids. We eat a lot. So there you go. That's my onions and sweet corns mixed together. It smells fabulous. You might not think that that's a great mix, but trust me, it really is. And then what you want to do is take your tinned corned beef and just slice it through to break it up a little bit. I slice it and then I dice it because it just makes it easier to get in there and fry. And maybe even cut another time through. There you go, slice it. And then, whoops, get it the other way. And then, excuse my fingers, my family won't mind, get it on there. I don't know what, they should maybe call me the messy chef or something. There's always stuff everywhere. But it tastes good, which is the main thing. Don't know if any of you, by the way, tried the chickpea curry. That was last week's favourite. My family absolutely loved it. It was really, really surprisingly tasty. I mean, chickpea curry, who knew? But as a few people said to me afterwards, oh, but I like meat in my curry. Well, if you can afford meat, add it in. There's absolutely no reason why you couldn't have meat in your curry, and just add it in there. You've got all the flavour then from everything else, and some chicken or whatever it is you're going to put in there. Oh, cutting up corned beef, harder than you'd imagine. There you go, that's one bunch. Here's my other bunch coming through. And we also tried the flatbreads with it, and that was just so tasty. So here's my corned beef, all mushed up. I'm not planning to keep it in cubes, by the way. That's literally for getting it in there. Once it's in, and then mush it up with my wooden spoon or your fork or your spatula, whatever it is you like to cook with, and get it frying in there. And really the ideal is you want to break it down. So it's kind of something of a mush. Now, that is starting to smell amazing. Like I say every single time, I wish that I could waft some of that smell across to you wherever you are, because you would love it. Smells good. Now, how's my rice coming? We'll leave that to simmer for a moment. As it warms up, by the way, you might think, oh gosh, my corned beef isn't breaking down. It does. Just let it warm up and it will naturally start to crumble, which is what you want. You want it to crumble and just kind of get mixed into everything. And like I said, this, I'm spilling it everywhere, is amazing with potato, mashed potato particularly. You want to get it in there and get all this fried up and then add it to the mash and mix it all around. Or with pasta, again, get this all in there fried up and then get it mixed all around. Or rice, as we're doing today. So I'll just leave that working away for a moment. My rice is looking almost perfect. And just have a look at this, and smells lovely as well. Now the thing with rice is once it's grown, you can't tell whether it's cooked or not unless you try it. So let me get a teaspoon. Rice you want to have without a crunch, but you don't want it to be soggy. It's got to have that perfect timing. Which is around now. Although me personally, I'd like a bit of salt in there. That's slightly too much on the plain side. I know I said plain earlier, but not that plain. So once you've got your rice like this, cooked up and ready to go, obviously because we've added a whole other kettle full on the top, you'll find that there's water still there that needs draining. So what I'm going to do is take it, how's that for heat, and tip it back in my colander again. You know, isn't it funny? You use a sieve to start off with, but a colander afterwards because the little bits won't go through anymore. So here I go, tip it straight back into my colander, let it drain, and then straight back into my pan. There it goes, all that rice juice coming out the bottom. Give it a really good shake this time because you don't want it to be soggy and wet. And whatever moisture's in there, it will keep eating up. So really good shake, and then back into your pan. Fold it back in. Beautiful, there it goes. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Got my lovely corned beef, heated up beautifully here, mushed up perfectly, no more cubes, just lovely crumbly corned beef in there. Smells amazing. This is the only thing you need to remember. The secret ingredient to making, in my opinion, a perfect corned beef hash, and that is soy sauce. You want to get a good glug, kind of like glug, glug, glug. I'm shaking it because it doesn't come out very well. That's what I mean by a good glug. Now, if you're using half the ingredients, use half that much, but I've used kind of that much in my bottle. If it was further down, it'd be maybe that much, but I've used a good glug of soy sauce. Mix that in just like so, and this is basically almost completely ready. The only thing that I need to do now is this. I'm going to part this so it's off to one side a little bit, and I'm going to take this and tip some in. Oops. There you go, not all of it. Oops, you'll see why in a moment. I'll get mixing that first, only because my pan's quite full and I want to make sure everything gets mixed up, not just the stuff at the top. So get that mixed, get it right down near the bottom, get the rice mixed round, get it, even the rice is taking on that lovely pinky colour. Get it shoved round in there, and then you want to do the next node. Note to self, don't cook with heavy cast iron saucepans on live TV if you have to lift them up in front of everyone. There you go, last bit's in there. Oh, come on, Christina, you've got the arm strength. There you go. In there. And whack this on and get it mixed round. And that, my friends, is a simple, quick and easy corned beef hash that is ready to go to the table and serve my family. Isn't that cool? Such a quick and easy meal. That is literally 20 minutes. max from beginning to end. It's as long as it takes you to cook the rice and mix the rest in. Super duper easy. So here you go, my yummy corned beef hash. I'm gonna give it a try, just because you can't cook it on live TV and not try it. That tastes amazing. Really, really delicious. It's simple, it's nutritious, it's filling, and it's super cheap. What more could you want? So before you go, let me bless you, and then you can go and try your own. Don't forget to send me some pictures. Let me know how it went for you. But let me bless you first. Jesus, I want to ask that you bless every household watching. I ask that you would fill their household with your peace and your joy and your love and your goodness. And I pray that you would bless them over this next weekend and over this next week as they enjoy spending time with each other. I pray you bless them with your goodness and your love in Jesus' wonderful name. Amen. Amen. God bless you all. Thanks for joining me. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you liked it. And I'll be back again soon with some more cooking tips. Bye.